The Burdah says, وَمِنْ عِلْمِهِ عِلْمُ اللَّوْحِ وَالْقَلَمِ. What some of the people said, that the Burdah, which is praising the Prophet, mentions that from his knowledge is the knowledge of the pen and the tablet. Okay, so the first answer that I don't need context for is وَمِنْ عُلُومِكَ, from your knowledge, O Muhammad, is the knowledge of the pen and the lawh. So that does not necessitate that it refers to all of the knowledge of the lawh and qalam. It does not necessitate that, because only Allah Ta'ala has all knowledge. Number two, it does not necessitate that the Prophet gained this knowledge without Allah's will. So that's the two things that would be problematic. And this is the number one thing, is that he gained this knowledge without Allah, without Allah's will. No. So that's why it's not kufr. Number two, from the meanings of it, and here's the answer from the Dar al-Ifta al-Masriya, وَمِنْ عُلُومِكَ عِلْمُ اللَّوْحِ وَالْقَلَمِ أَنَّ اللَّوْحَ وَالْقَلَمِ مِنْ بَعْضِ عُلُومِهِ صلى الله عليه وسلم التي علمها إياه الله. Allah taught him some of what is in the knowledge. If I'd say somebody today, he knows everything about, this guy knows everything about New York. Really? Does he know how many pieces of pavement there are there? How many sidewalks? Can he count how many streets there are there? Does he know how many storefronts there are there? No, but we mean he knows a lot of it. He has some knowledge of the city of New York. So we're talking about how do humans talk. So he has knowledge of al-lawhi wal-qalam. Yes, for sure, guaranteed, the Prophet knows something we don't know. That does not necessitate that he gained it independently of Allah. No. It does not necessitate that he has all of it either. The second one is that aslan, originally, he's speaking of the ilm of Allah. But that's why I want to see the rest of it. Al-Burdah. What chapter? Can you give me those lines? وَلَنْ يَضِيقَ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ جَاهُكَ بِي إِذَا الْكَرِيمُ. Who's he talking about? Allah. When the generous beautifies himself with the name of the avenger, verily from your generosity is the dunya and also the harms of the dunya. Okay. وَمِنْ عُلُومِكَ عِلْمَ اللَّوْحِ وَالْقَلَمِ. So the second answer is that, to begin with, Imam al-Busayri is speaking about Allah's knowledge. That's number one. And if that's the case, then we can say yes, from the possibilities of that. If that's the case, then he is speaking about all knowledge without acquisition. And if he's referring to the Prophet ﷺ, then it refers to some knowledge with acquisition from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what does he mean by the knowledge of the pen and the tablet? Is whatever knowledge Allah wished to show him in the Isra and Mi'raj and otherwise. والمراد بعلم اللوح والقلم المعلومات التي كتبها القلم في اللوح بأمر الله تعالى. Therefore, any knowledge, what is meant by the knowledge of the lawh and the qalam, is all things of this world and of the afterlife were written by the pen on the tablet. Therefore, the summary of this meaning is whatever Allah taught him. Because everything in the world, like the existence of this phone, the existence of this book, the existence of this camera, was written by the pen on the tablet. Therefore, it's a poetic way of saying knowledge in general, meaning praising the Prophet for being given by Allah so much information and knowledge about life. Because what did the pen write in the hadith? Write the qadr of what will happen until the Day of Judgment. So therefore, ilm al-lawh wal-qalam, knowledge of the pen and the tablet, is some of it. من جملة علم اللوح والقلم الأمور الخمسة المذكورة في آخر سورة لقمان. With Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is knowledge of when the hour will come and when the rain will come, what's in the womb, what will happen tomorrow, and where a person will die. And we don't make taslim, we don't submit to the fact, Bajuri is saying, that these 5 things is necessarily what al-Busiri is talking about here, except what Allah ta'ala has informed him. Because Allah has informed the Prophet ﷺ of some things of these 5, such as what will happen tomorrow, in the future meaning. The Prophet has prophecies, right? ماذا تكسب غدا وما تدري نفس ماذا تكسب غدا. A person doesn't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but doesn't every prophet know something of the future? Allah gave him something of the future. Therefore, there's exceptions to this. So the other answer to it is that not everything is written in that lawh. So there's al-Kitab, and there's al-Lawh al-Mahfuz. So not everything is written in al-Lawh al-Mahfuz. That's the third answer for you. Al-Lawh al-Mahfuz is accessible to malaika. They would have known. So they don't know certain things. So therefore, the first answer, let's summarize the answers here. Answer number one, the pronoun, the damir min ilmihi, who is mentioned before that? Al-Karim, Allah. Therefore, the pronoun min ilmihi refers to Al-Karim, ilm al-Karim. Therefore, if we are saying that knowledge of the pen and the lawh equals all knowledge gained without acquisition, or not even gained, innately, then the pronoun goes back to Allah. Then that is Allah's knowledge. But if we are saying that no, it is the Prophet, then we say two different things. If Al-Busiri was speaking about the Prophet, then it means that Allah Ta'ala informed him of many things of the lawh. It does not necessitate. It could mean all knowledge, but it doesn't necessitate that. So if we're talking about the Prophet, then it is much of knowledge of the unseen, which prophets do have. He went to Isra and Mi'raj and gained a lot of knowledge of the unseen. The second part, if the pronoun ilmihi is referring to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then him having knowledge of all of the lawh would still not be problematic if we understood that there are 5 things not specified in the lawh. That the lawh does not consist of all knowledge. That al-Kitab has everything in it. يَمْحُ اللَّهُ مَا يَشَاءُ وَيُثْبِتُ وَعِنْدَهُ الْكِتَابُ. With Allah is al-Kitab. Nobody sees that except Allah. That's why it says عِنْدَهُ الْكِتَاب. With Allah is al-Kitab. The second book is al-Lawh al-Mahfuz. Al-Lawh al-Mahfuz is in the heavens, and angels can look at it. And wasn't it that the jinn would go up and listen about what's going to happen in the future? What are they listening to? The speech of the angels about the future. What do the angels get their knowledge of the future? From a lawh. So when the Prophet ﷺ went up and he perceived the pen scratching on a lawh. So therefore the lawh is accessible. Now the third total answer, but the second branching from holding that the pronoun is the Prophet ﷺ, referring to the Prophet, is that a lawh doesn't have everything in it. So it does not necessitate that he is innate with this knowledge. As Allah exists and knowledge is not acquired by him. By necessity, he possesses all knowledge. Allah doesn't acquire knowledge. So simply saying the Prophet, or he, whoever the pronoun is, from his knowledge is the lawh and the pen, does not necessitate that it's innate knowledge. It could mean it acquired. And it does not necessitate that it's all knowledge. And we do not assume that a lawh contains all knowledge either in the first place. Not all destinies are written in the lawh, according to that qawl. And ultimately, all of these are strong. And that's where, again, when people say the Burdah, you have to, and that's what they said out there hundreds of years ago. Anyone who recites the Burdah is a mushrik and therefore has to be killed. Yes. Yep. And what trickled down? It trickled down to the tidied up version of that. And the civilized version is, it has shirk. Let's stay away from it. But not killing, right? Not killing because that's a bit, we don't want our hands dirty with that, but it has shirk. The answer is both of them are wrong. Both of them are wrong, right? Neither does it have shirk, nor do they deserve to be killed. In fact, they deserve to be praised.